For the longest, I thought he was on trial for shooting her.
Correct.
And he wasn't.
He was not. I can see why he wouldn't want to testify, and that not mean that he is guilty of actually shooting her, but he's guilty of having his hands on that weapon and all the other stuff that comes with it. And then I can see Kelsey just being a terrible fucking friend.
I feel like if anybody I sympathize with the most, it's her. It is. Could you imagine you riding in the car with your friend? Y'all was just at this rich people party. You was like, ooh, we drunk. And then you hear somebody who you had been having relations with is having relations with your best friend. And you didn't hear from your best friend. He told you that in front of her. And then you kind of like, you did what? So now you arguing with him some more because you can't believe it. And I'm really up here like... We not gonna just skirt past what he said.
Right, okay.
Now you like, man, no. And so now you trying to be all bossed up on me, and I'm trying to get to the bottom with it. And so I'm like, It was also said in Kelsey's testimony, she took pictures
of her being bruised up.
So let's say I get out of the car thinking my best friend done tried me. I'm finna get one up on her, and she whooped me. Yeah. Like Kelsey got out thinking she got
whooped by somebody,
and it was she got
MEG
word
or
right, and
or
then
Tory.
She got word.
Either way.
One time somebody else daddy threatened to beat you,
and they can.
It's more so it depends. If the relationship with your mom and dad is like that, then yes, if it got there.
It seemed like it would take a lot for not only for it to be a man, like, or for somebody else's parent to be beating you, but for the father to be the one beating you. That seems like it.
Yeah,
you had to be like
doing some shit you ain't had no business doing.
Like the extreme.
Like the one time my uncle ever came at me. We were playing basketball at the church, and I don't know where I developed this from, but I just had a thing where I used to spit, just turning.
But not spitting on people.
No. Yeah. But at this point, like, I had turned and spit, not thinking, and my cousin was there. He got spit on. And so there's no way you can accident because it's just the fact that you spit on a person, because that is like a level of disrespect. So my uncle ran off and he hit me in the back of the head. Well, he missed the first time because I kind of like heard him like saying, so I turned and he missed, but he came in on the follow through. Got me on the follow through.
Dang, do you think that? Well, because I understand spit being disrespectful, but was it not easy to see that it was not intentional? Like, and
no.
Did you respond and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, my bad"?
No.
Or were you like, just got spit on?
I can't say it's. The details are a little fuzzy.
Yeah, because he knocked shit at you.
I'm not gonna say, because we were playing basketball, and it had been competitive and it had been contentious, and so it could have been a culmination of it looked like, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just here, I'm under the rim, and the grass is behind me, and I just, turn and spit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on behind me, and I don't know what anyone is seeing and perceiving. So when that happened, like, now I hear Chris, "Oh my gosh, you just spit on me, like, what's going on?" And I'm like, what? And so then his dad hears that, and he saw it, and so then he rushes over to react. So, I mean, it all happened so fast, so it wasn't like there was time to have a communicational dialogue. And so it was just like...
So, you weren't really aware of your surroundings really
at
all.
So, I just got
until you heard them footsteps.
I got a cuff, and then that was it. You know what I'm saying? And I always say, for me, when I think about the different times that I've been disciplined, I always say, looking back, I will take all the ones that I got, Because I know there were things that I got away with that if my parents would have known, I would not be. They probably would have ended my life. Not like, you know, I'm exaggerating, but yeah. Oh yeah, they would have shipped me off somewhere. And so I always say,
take
the ups with the downs. Yeah, you take the ups with the downs, because I definitely got away with some things that I know I'm gonna pay for when I have kids.
You gonna pay for a lot when you have a child. Oh, but yeah, shoot, I'm drinking my own medicine too, so that's just how it is. All right, hey guys, welcome back to Lex Talk. Today, Kimoy and I are going to do something we ain't got no business doing, and that is talking about or reacting to the whole Tory Lanez verdict regarding Meg Thee Stallion and that whole court case. So, just a disclaimer, I did not follow the case. I honestly don't care. So I guess all of the reactions during and since the verdict, I think there's a lot of different things or topics that it has kind of stirred up in our community and just in the culture, I guess. So just see what things we both have. And then, mind you, Kimoy is a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist. So we'll see what...
I don't have any conspiracy theories about this.
No? Okay.
Really? I don't. No.
Well, you go ahead and lead the way, because I don't...
I mean, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, it happened in the public view, so we can take a look at it.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just... I really think it's funny how public opinion and then like the facts of the case can be so polarizing and so totally different.
Yeah.
Because for the longest, I thought he was on trial for shooting her.
Correct.
And he wasn't.
He was not.
No.
Yeah.
His 3 charges were having
the only one might be the assault one might be a little bit linked, because somebody had to be assaulted.
Well,
or unless he was talking about the fighting assault.
By the definition of assault with a firearm, you can be charged with that by just
having
showing
it around
it.
There. Oh,
so
he was guilty of all the charges before any of this.
Right.
It was very clear.
So if you and me got beef and I just hit you with a what's good?
That's kind of assault.
That's assault.
That's crazy.
With a firearm. And so he was charged with assault with a firearm, negligence discharge of a firearm, and having an unregistered firearm.
Yeah.
He's an immigrant. You can't be an immigrant and have a firearm in the United States.
Oh.
You can't.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. You can't. And so...
Even if you get, like, citizenship and everything.
But then you're a citizen.
Okay, so he doesn't have...
No, he's, like, on a visa.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's a Canadian.
Yeah, I know he's Canadian, but I just would assume that he would have some type of...
He just work over here, and then he go back to the crib, and then he come over here and do some work.
Okay.
And so... Like, for that to be, the meat and potatoes, it's just crazy
that we had all this discourse about...
Within our culture, we had all this infighting with black men and black women about, protect, don't protect, when it's just like...
Ain't nobody...
That's really not what's, the case is about.
Yeah, there's nothing that... I don't know, that... Like, I feel like they were fighting... The culture was fighting against the people, and it really wasn't even about that. Like, oh, Meg is doing this to black men, which I don't know at the end of the day who shot her foot
or
who shot the gun.
Know.
Yeah, it was probably one of those two, Kelsey or him, but we will never know unless they decide to both come around and tell us. And even then, they might be still conspiring or lying or whatever the case may be. So we don't know. We just know that she did get shot. And the case is really not even about, like you said, did he shoot her? And is she telling the truth or is she not telling the truth? The facts that we do know is she was shot by the gun that was in that vehicle with them.
It went off. And to me, it's... We've lived in real life, so we know real life is stranger than fiction. Like, that's not a thing that they say because it's cliche. It's because that's often real. True. Like, I've had some stories that I've been in.
Yeah.
That if I didn't walk from point A to point Z, I would say, ain't no way. You lying. But I watched it unfold, so I know. So it's just like, ain't no doubt she got hit. She got endangered. She was hurt. But how we got from point A to point B, we definitely need to take a look at and make sure the story makes sense. Yeah. Because I just don't understand how we can be like, yay or nay, when none of us was there, and now we all wanting to jump on our neighbor and say, oh my, you listen to his music, she hate black women. You must be a Messiah. Like, no, I don't know what happened, so like, that's just not my business. Well, I said, but have you ever lied?
Yeah.
I've lied.
Yeah, that's what I was like, that's, why are we talking about this? Like, this is so stupid that we're making this whole case about, like, oh, she lied. And especially when it was, like, something that was clearly provable. It's like, well, and a lot of us as black people have been in the situation with the police. And I know I had a cop come up to my window and I was by myself at night and I cried. Literally, I was just like, oh, shit. I don't know what to do. I don't have the things. I don't nervous. Have... Like, you just be flustered as hell. All you want is for them to go away. Yeah. Nothing happened. I'm fine. Please go away. So everybody should, I won't say everybody, but a lot of us should understand that feeling like, all right.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I have 2 sisters. I have a lot of women cousins. Yeah. Some of them, they have firearms. Some of them don't. And I always say, like, if you think it's criminal, I don't care what you think, go to the police.
Yeah.
In that instance where you have been victimized. Not saying you're a victim, where someone tried to assault, attack, whatever the case, go call the police. Even if you know them, because, you know what I'm saying, we can't be involved in handling that because we gonna make rash decisions. You know what I'm saying? So just go straight. So
one thing that my brother is, a detective, and he would, because it was one time where I was having this issue with a cop that was it was in Miami after a basketball game or whatever, and he was just like one of them overzealous cops or whatever, and I had my brother on the phone. Actually, this was one time where I was like, I was kind of prepared or whatever, and my brother's advice was to just do what he says, obey, whatever, or basically he was saying, you want to go back to the precinct and file your report. Right. Don't handle it there. Don't let it escalate there. Don't let anything happen at that moment. So I can imagine that kind of thing. Like, I'm gonna go and tell him I got shot, but I'm not going to tell him I don't have time for you to make a split-second rash decision because all you heard was gun or shot. Like, I would rather go back and tell the story where I feel like I'm safe, where there are cameras, people that are going to hear me out, and not jump to, like, conclusions. So
because even with that, how I totally understand, because I studied criminology and I had an interest in going into law enforcement, and even when I think about how they respond, right? Gunshots. So they're in a heightened alert.
Correct.
And so definitely in that moment in time, you're thinking comply so that, but I'm saying, like, even then we've complied and we're back. Just tell what you think. You know what I'm saying? Be honest. Hey, that short man, he shot at me.
Yeah.
I think y'all should hold on to him.
Yeah. The part about, like, protecting him, if that's what happened, that I would feel like comes down to just, like, young kind of ignorance. Like, sometimes to me, that's like kind of young and dumb kind of thing where you feel like, oh, not even just young and dumb. Sometimes it's also the emotional part of, like, I like you, but I don't know what's happening now. I shouldn't be sticking up for you, but for whatever reason, I still am. Like, that is really what happened, for her to not say anything at all, to me seemed like, girl, why?
Personally, I am a strong believer of not getting involved in other people's domestic disputes, conversations, however they handle it. Because there have been plenty of times where I've been told something and then I go and react just for that person to then be like, why you did that?
Yeah, no, but
what I mean is so my thing is, when stuff like that happens, mom always gonna say either go to the police or because y'all, I don't know the dynamics in y'all relationship because all this might happen and then y'all cool. Because I personally believe if hypothetically it was just like I don't really know what happened, but I got shot. Somebody over there shot me.
Yeah, what's the point?
Then it's like, okay, boom, boom. We gonna go through and investigate it. We know, maybe, let's say, hypothetically, it was an accident. If someone accidentally gets shot, then we can, I'm gonna be mad at you.
Yeah.
But we can make up.
I think that's how she was kind of handling it.
And so I just feel like, I don't know.
If you're going to, I mean, I guess that's what she was planning to do, was not say anything about it. From whatever her story was, it would seem that she felt it was an accident, even though he had no business acting in that manner. This is based on Meg's story. I don't know the truth. She's making it seem as though he was just basically being rowdy and it discharged, and it, even though he had no business doing it, like that's what he was doing, and it hit her. And so from that, she wasn't necessarily trying to get him caught up in the law. She just wanted to, distance herself from him until, I guess, he was doing whatever on social media, and that made her want to be like, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but since you're saying something, I'm going to come out and say this. And that's where I feel like that whole, I wasn't going to say anything. Well, then don't say anything ever.
Right.
Or say it in the beginning. Or say it.
Because...
But I think that's the part of, like, just being kind of young and naive, like, oh, he didn't really mean it, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but I need a record of this event, and only for that, because you never know what's going to happen in the future, and then you're not going to be credible at that point, you're going to have to prove your credibility, because it's like, well, that's like with the Bill Cosby case with the women that came out like way later. It's always just, you have to go through the process of explaining of like,
how did it happen,
when it actually had. If you just put it on record just to say this happened, we don't have to do nothing, not pressing charges, move forward. And then go on from there. Then you at least, like, if it does happen, especially when it's something that serious, like you over here waving guns. Like if a friend of mine has a gun, is over here playing, like shooting it, like, okay, you are a loose cannon. I'm gonna make sure this is at least documented just in case. But that's just if her side of the story is true.
And then even being that, like I said, I studied the criminal justice system. It's just, when you're dealing with the police, their whole job, because people think like the law, legal, it's fair. Their whole job is to make you sound like nothing that comes out of your mouth is credible. Are you
the defense?
Anybody, prosecution and defense, is to. If you're on my side, I'm supposed to make you sound as credible as possible, and then when they cross-examine, they're going to cut into your credibility.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Any lie that you have ever told is going to come up, and then they're going to try to establish, well, you have a pattern of telling lies. How can you be trusted?
Yeah, that was a weak argument though for the defense. That's the thing. If he was on trial for shooting her, that wouldn't be a weak case. But I think that even with the defense, that's what they weren't, because he's a foreigner and his charges weren't about that. Why were they even fighting in court?
Huh? Like he was taking it to trial, right? But I think the social aspect of it had him really like, oh, I'm defending myself, to be like, I didn't shoot her.
But I feel like that's what your lawyer's for. I don't understand.
Definitely. And that's why he fired his lawyer. But firing your lawyer after you lose is kind of like...
Yeah. But it's like, all the things that they were trying to pin on Meg, how do they have anything...
Pin on her?
Or like calling her a liar, or even trying to say that that it could have been the friend Kelsey,
Mm-hmm.
like that doesn't have to do with him being in possession of
no 100%.
You know, it's
100%.
like I don't understand why we're in the courtroom at 100%. All, because the things that are needing to be proved are facts that are already delivered.
I'm gonna tell you what I think, right? Because they went to him prior to the case on a plea deal on the charges that he was charged with. Right, the 3 that he found guilty, that hit him with a plea deal. If he signs that plea deal, just like we know with Central Park 5, they signed pleas. We can, but what was in the actual, what did we say we did or what said happened?
Yeah,
that gets lost in translation. It doesn't even matter
anymore.
And so that for him, right? If I'm him in this case, I'm being charged. In the public side, I'm being charged with shooting her.
Yeah.
With being upset at her and firing on her.
From the public.
For the public.
Yes.
I know that's not the
real case.
The legals. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go on trial. We're going to go to court. And now everything's going to come out. Or whatever. I still could lose. But now the public has the transcripts to see. Hey, yes, I did have a gun that was registered and I'm a foreigner. Yes, I did discharge the weapon because, from the eyewitness testimony, a girl went and got the gun first and then there was a struggle and then the man had the gun and he was waving it and shooting in the air. So right then and there, someone says I discharged the weapon.
Even if it has nothing to do with the one that hit her.
Correct.
You already did that.
And so it's more of a, if all I have is my name, I'm going to clear it in the eyes of the public to be like, now everyone has some questions on what really happened. You know what I'm saying? It's not as, well, she said it happened, so it had to have happened. Or he said it didn't happen, so you either on his side or on her side. It's a lot of, you know what? Why am I giving this energy? Because nobody going to know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of holes and so it's just like, whatever.
It just makes no sense. Because it was really like, it's the state that's going after you. Like,
it is.
MEG was just a tool that they used to be like, you
hurt
hurt somebody just to get another charge added on it.
Let's just send this little Canadian back to Canada.
Right.
Really, that's what it was. The state was like, you know what? Maybe we got too many y'all Canadians over here. Let's get one of y'all.
Right. Canadian. Like, I feel like all the... But
it also, because, like, worst case scenario, her story is true. They argued. He got the gun, shot at her feet, danced, and shot at her feet. Worst case scenario for everyone involved. Him, her. Best case scenario, there was a scuffle, a fight happened. She was accidentally... not necessarily shot, but
wounded
it was
in
discharged,
the discharge,
right? And then everything happened.
It just seems like everything was just like when they're talking about, oh, MEG set him up or whatever on the conspiracy side. I feel like the bigger thing would be the state setting him up, as opposed to or the state choosing to go after her, like they saw that as an opportunity to take him down.
I think what people feel, just from reading, because I don't care, but I definitely will consume the information and see what they talking about. It's more so how at the time everything was going on, because this happened in 2020?
I think so.
2020. There was a lot of the Breonna Taylor in the culture that was a big, so the protect black women, that was definitely a movement of force,
right? That
if you could get them to be behind you, they were going to propel you. And that's not just in MEG being a celebrity, even on your local, on a business level, if you were able to, there was profit in that, in getting people, we should protect, because that was a thing that was being charged, kind of just like we were inside for COVID for all that time, and then the George Floyd thing happens, and then we're outside talking about I can't breathe. It makes sense, but we're outside, we're in the air when we were just cooped up, and we're all screaming we can't breathe. So it's how you can use things to propel to get momentum. So a lot of people were saying, like, let's best case scenario, this was an accident. You really were then just like, you use that to propel you, you know what I'm saying? Because not to say everything is connected, but after that happened and she was more so on the y'all aren't protecting black women, not to say that her music wasn't going to, but she started to do more numbers. You started to see her as the front of things a little bit more, because it was we stand with black women, and because this happened, that's so atrocious that this happened to you, we're gonna stand in solidarity and support. And then, you know, here comes the ad deals or whatever the case may be. Because in politics, I studied politics for a little bit because I did want to be a politician at one point in time. You never let a good crisis go to waste, and you hear things like that. And to us, you're like, how do you not let a good crisis go to waste? It's like
all publicity is good publicity
if you know how to spin it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just eyes on you. But yeah,
but that's the, you know, cynical conspiracy side of it.
Right. It's just like, if she were, though, like, actually, well, shot or whatever, like, whatever the fucking around happened, like, at the end of the day, it's like, nigga, my foot hurt, though. Right. Like, why are y'all thinking that I'm over here, like, lying? Like, I'm out here hurt. Now, whether or not it was Tory or Kelsey, now that's the thing that is completely debatable. It seemed like it, though, because Kelsey, girl, what a useless.
But you see, even in that, right, because men and women look at that very differently. Because if you have been my partner, like, to the point where I'm staying at your house, you staying at my house, I'm doing homework for you, you doing homework for me, like, I take you on everything. Like, I'm blowing up, and now you're my business manager. Yeah. Because, like, that's how we go down. And then, all of a sudden, we just cut ties. Like, no communication, no conversation, no, like, everyone's kind of like, and now we both doing diss songs on each other. Like, from a guy's perspective, like, something happened. Something.
Are you talking about between Meg and Tory, or between Meg and
Kelsey? Like, if you're my partner, we've been riding since high school, since before the fame. So let's say 12 years. Yeah. It's gonna take something serious for us to not be cool. And you and your nigga getting into an argument, and then he fire on you, that's not enough for me and you not to be cool, because that don't got nothing to do with me, right? Yeah. So to see that, it's kind of like a what's going on? It
feels like
both ways.
The fact that
in my opinion,
yeah, I feel like their friendship was confusing at best, because I mean, and I know that there are those people that are really, like, not for you, you know, period. Whether you grew up with them before fame, all that stuff, and male or female. But it seems like because she had immunity, you would think that means she would, like, sing like a canary kind of thing. But for her to not then try to further implicate Tory or herself, I feel like the two of them were, like, both of them were like scuffling around or something like that, and it accidentally, and I don't know if it was her that accidentally or him, but it was like one of those things, oh shit. Yeah. That's kind of, it seemed like both of them were
I'm going to give you my opinion of what happened. Sure. This is my opinion of what happened. So I definitely think there was some drinking that happened at the party
they were all
getting in the car. And so something happened to where now they had to leave the party. Right? They got to get out. So whether or not it's Megan was getting jealous of Kelsey, or, you know. Yeah, they whole whatever love triangle, whatever. Boom, they had to go. So now they're in the car and they arguing. Yeah. Right? And so Meg getting on Tory and Kelsey jumping in. Yeah. And we all been drinking, and as like, nigga, you gonna be like, I don't even know why you really on her back, because when me and you cool, and now
Right.
me and her got the thing.
Right. Yeah, they was all not getting along in this
and
moment.
now it's like, what you mean y'all had a thing?
Yeah.
Because she even said in her testimony she didn't know about that before the car ride.
Okay.
So now, as the friend, right, you're like, I got the IE ass face from Kevin Hart say, because what you mean you just told her we have a thing when I didn't tell her, and that's my friend.
Yeah.
And now she go, well, she done it before, so like that ain't nothing new.
Yeah.
So now I'm finna come at you. Like, what you mean you put my business out there? But, you know, in the testimonies that came out of trial, it was said that both women exited the car together. And it was also said in Kelsey's testimony, like, she took pictures
of her being bruised up.
Yeah. Now,
who did it?
Just from being in situations with people, two girls might fight in that moment. Yeah. What you mean
all three of them were likely to have fought each other at any given point in that whole scenario. So now none of them was all of them was doing each other dirty.
So let's say I get out of the car thinking my best friend done tried me. I'm finna get one up on her and she whooped me. Yeah. Like Kelsey got out thinking she
got whooped by somebody.
And it was she got
MEG or
right. And
or
then
Tory.
She got word.
Either way.
So now it's nigga, you ain't finna have me. So now I'm going back to the car. Yeah. Everybody know what I got in my bag. Cause we black. Yeah. When somebody go back to the car, it's a wrap.
Well, it could have been a bat. I wish they had a bat.
So then Tory's like, ain't no way I'm finna let you shoot this girl. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm running. This is best case. This is what I think. Now I'm running. They go off. Let's say she don't get shot directly in her foot. She get fragments. So let's say it go off and it get grazed or it hits the ground and it separates and she gets some. Yeah. And now he snatched shit away and he boom boom. Every y'all just shut up and sit down. Yeah. So if you ask me, that's what I think happened.
It seems like he definitely is a little bit of a hothead. But I'm not like hothead like he's trying to hurt people. I think he just like that. It really feels like young and dumb. It really feels like young and dumb, reckless. Like, you know that you don't need to have this firearm on you, high profile. Like, have your bodyguards.
I just think to me, it's very interesting how we think because people are celebrities or they have money that it absolves them from their mental space. Meaning, I was thinking about this the other day. When I went to college, I was 18, about to be 19. I didn't know. I knew what my parents taught me, but that was it. Yeah. And I hung around people who, now we really just out here running wild. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because, not necessarily I was young, but I was, I hadn't experienced nothing. So now I'm just out here. So just imagine now, me, let's say I would have been an athlete, right? Same person, but now I got $50 million.
Yeah, you young and dumb.
Right.
With $50 million.
I'm still going to do, so I just be like, I don't know.
That's what it sounds like. Like, they all just sound like kids being young and dumb, doing reckless shit. Like, ain't no reason for you to be playing around with a gun like that. Yeah. Like, no reason for it to, whether it was you or Kelsey or whatever. I don't think
she was playing. I think whoever went and got that pistol wanted to use that pistol because they was like, oh, we just gonna take it here.
I feel like they were drunk and
that too.
Just being messy.
Emotional.
Like, the young and dumb part of not having, the same way people, like, the way they're, like, I don't know, like, real gang etiquette, but it's not the same as it used to be. They say where like they don't have that kind of like unspoken like rules, you know. That's what I feel like it is. That young and dumb where like we not gonna go to that point because somebody can actually get hurt. Like you over here playing, trying to show your ego. Maybe it's him, maybe it's her. Either way, the gun being in the like y'all didn't need to have it around y'all, and there's no reason for it to have been out when y'all didn't have a threat to y'all life. Like they just young and stupid, and then all got cut up and all don't know how to lie very well.
And then that spills into the communities because it was, to me, it was so, how within that 2020, 21 time period where it was just like, if you had anything that wasn't You agree he needs to be locked up.
Yeah.
You are a misogynistic black woman hater. And I was just like, as someone who took a class on death penalty in college and like it was like heinous crimes.
Yeah.
You understand that the criminal justice system is not what we think it is.
Yeah.
It's not.
Just the justice system in general.
It's not what we think it is. Legalese. That's why people
inhumane.
go to learn
It is inhumane.
that language and how to read those contracts, because it's not. It don't make sense.
It's not even for. It takes the person out of it. It takes humanity out of it altogether. I mean, it's just so for me. What I was thinking, because at no point do I necessarily believe her or him. I feel like y'all both was doing some mess, and y'all don't want us to know. A little bit of it got out, and now you're forced to kind of tell, but you're trying not to
keep
tell all the facts.
Keep yourself in the best light.
Correct. Which that's just human nature. So I completely get it. But to me, like the idea, because it wasn't like I'm trying to kill you, and you or even that you were hurt in a way that like your life was actually threatened. Like it just got so big, like bigger than I feel like, because even the cases, like unless she decided to go and press charges against him for trying to harm her or assault her, like she was really on that, like it happened,
right,
you know, and I'm just
done.
going, you know, I'm cool on you, but I'm just going, then I feel like the extents that the law will punish him, even now, like 22, 23 years.
That's the max. I think.
Yes, but that's
the
crazy.
Judge, it definitely is crazy. It talks about how they over sentence.
I'm like,
ridiculous.
for an accidental, like not even like shoot to kill, or the bullet actually going through you, like 20 something years.
And for me, we know, especially in our community, that we have unfair
everything,
and to be like, yeah, no, we don't. The last thing we should want to do is to have our issue.
Yeah. I want them to be like, y'all need to go to counseling separately, not together, or together if y'all want to. And then his whatchamacallit, gun rights, you know, revoked or suspended. Right. That you know, like actually like some kind of rehabilitation of this. Like this is grown ass kids with money and, you know, just not making good decisions, but not to the point where he needs to be in jail for the next
22 years.
That's crazy.
If he was to get the max.
Yeah.
But
I still think they all stupid, but it's like
the judge could just give him probation, and or they
he do need to like
deport him, and then he can not come back to the country.
Yeah,
and so that hurts him, touring wise.
And I feel like Kelsey should have got something just for all her foolishness. Like,
but that's why she got transactional immunity.
I know, and then she ain't do nothing for them with it.
But see that's the thing that people don't understand, right? The type of immunity that she got, because we just hear immunity and think, oh, she's good. Transactional immunity is more so depending on what I say, that can then determine whether or not they bring charges against me, depending on what I say, right? Because it's a transaction. If I give you what you want, then you're going to protect me in the way that I want. But if I don't give you...
So she didn't give them anything, then they could still press charges against her?
They could still come after her. But that's why she pleaded the fifth. Because now there's nothing on record of her saying, because if I would have answered the question you asked,
and you didn't
I could have incriminated myself, and then y'all could have came at me.
Yeah.
Now, if she would have got blanket immunity, sure, because then that just means, you know what, there's
whatever
no chance that we're going to come after you. Then definitely you sing like a canary.
Yeah. The fact that she didn't then try to incriminate Tory, and that Tory didn't testify, makes me think that both of their ass is guilty. Both Kelsey and Tory, not guilty of trying to shoot her, but guilty of playing around in a way they shouldn't have, and she fucked around and got shot. So,
but I don't disagree, because I don't. If I shoot at you 5 times, I'm getting charged with attempted murder. Period.
Yeah.
If I have a gun and I shoot at you 5 times, I'm getting charged with attempted murder. I tried to kill you.
Yeah.
And for the fact that it wasn't assault with a deadly weapon, it wasn't aggravated assault. It wasn't
But that's
attempted
because
murder.
she didn't come to press charges on him.
But
right?
in LA, the state,
they can still charge you.
They pick whatever charges they want to charge you with.
Yeah.
And that's what the state came up with, because then it's on the burden of proof lies on the state to say he did discharge a weapon recklessly, because even if he took the gun away from somebody else who went to, and then he fired in the air so that everyone would come down, that is reckless discharge.
It was reckless. It was no reason for the gun to be out there.
But I mean, let's say it's me, you, and somebody in here, and you got beef with her.
Yeah.
And then you say, you know what? I'm gonna just kill you. I go get the gun and I'm gonna fire. Mm-hmm. And then let's say now I'm fighting with you,
wrestling the gun away,
and I take it and I just one time, boom, everyone calm down.
Yeah, but I don't think that's.
But according to the eyewitness, that was more of what happened.
Yeah.
Than, you know what I'm saying. But even then,
it's like, nigga. And even still, like, how many rounds you firing, like, to calm everybody down? Like, the sound of a gun being fired next to you, it's loud as fuck. You don't need to do all that to, like, get two women to calm down. I mean, now Meg is way bigger than Tory. And
Kelsey. So, and if Kelsey had just gotten beaten down, like, everybody still might have been on some, like...
Yeah. It was do you know what he was doing on social media before she said she was shot? That she was supposedly responded to? Because I don't know that part.
No, because I think her camp put out the first public statement about what was going on, and then he didn't say anything, and then he got arrested. When they, you know, file the charges, they come and arrest you. They book you and say, this is what we're charging you with. And then he dropped the mixtape. And then in that mixtape, he kind of didn't say... He kind of said what I got from her, because I listened to it. That the shooting was an accident. And for you to say, like, I maliciously tried to shoot you is like, wow. Like, I thought it was cool. And even after... I heard that, because of the relationship that we had, I was still like, are you good? Which, you know, once there's the laws involved, you should never try and be like, you know.
Yeah. So stupid.
I just think for us as a community, it really just goes to how we talk about wanting to be together, but we really let other people's problems be the billboard of how we interact with each other. Not necessarily everyone, but there was a big, like, you know, she lying. All y'all lying. Well, if you think she lying, then, and would you believe your mother? And it was like, whoa.
What are we talking about here?
Right. Because it's just like, we know every situation is different.
Yeah.
We can generalize, but...
And we also know there was likely to be some wild shit happening between all of them.
Right.
That none of them had no business. Like,
so 100%, yes, we should protect the black women. If she was endangered, go to the police and tell them what happened to you. But if you decide to hold back, then I have to respect your choice and be like, okay. But you can't be like, well, no, she made a decision and that's it. Because if I know, for example, it's like, if I know my mom, sometimes she gets drunk and she might hit me. Mm-hmm. Because I look like my dad and he left her. You know what I'm saying? She don't mean nothing of it. And yes, I have the right to call the police and be like, when my mom get drunk, she hit me. But I understand the circumstances of the situation. And I know that's not really why she feels about me. It's because of... So it's just like, I might...
Yeah, it's a hard thing to judge. The first 3
I might take, and afterwards, now I'm going to how about all.
And that's also a function of it's your mother as a male son. Like, those dynamics change in all these different, like, situations. It's a lot to process and take in. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I can understand just about every person's, like, response in the situation. Right or wrong, like... I would probably do the same thing that many of them did once shit started hitting the fan.
Well, not me, because if you shoot at me and I know who you are, I'm snitching. I'm turning into Gunner. I'm turning into Frank Lucas. I'm turning into everybody. I'm doing like 6ix9ine in the courtroom.
I can see a situation where like
don't shoot at me, Alexis.
Like if I was Meg, like first of all, this whole situation of all y'all like having this kind of incestuous, yes, it's also something that's kind of low key embarrassing. Like I would lie and say that I didn't sleep with Tory too. Listen. What?
I understand that, but knowing that this man's deciding to take it to trial,
yeah,
I'm not going. One, your team should have been better, and that's why for me, I definitely think they ran with the mindset never let a good crisis go to waste. Because I definitely believe she was injured in whatever happened that night. Mm-hmm. But then it's okay, let's see how we can use this momentum to go wherever we're trying to go. Because everyone would have known not to do an interview when we're going to trial. Because that is one of the things that my credibility, right? Because I'm being interviewed.
Yeah.
Someone's preparing questions to come and ask me. And I'm going to try and look in the light. And so now if there's any, you know what I'm saying?
It's just more ammunition possible. But I could see myself being in Meg's position. Like, what we're doing right now, this is just some fuckery that, honestly, I just want to forget this night ever happened. Like, you fucked up. I just really want to forget this night. So I can imagine me not bringing it to light. And then I see you over here doing something on social media. And it's like, all right, now, what we're not going to do, I don't mind not talking about it, but what we're not going to do is now make it seem like I'm over here boo-boo the fool. Like, if we're going to put it out in the air, now I'll say that you shot me or whatever. And then I can understand the public being like, what? And then her being like, wait, time out. So you mean to tell me I say I got shot and now I'm over here, like, trying to take down a black man? Like, I can see that progression happening and maybe not... Like, her team, I can see being the one to be like, well, we're going to beef this up. Right. You are going to be the face of black women.
We are definitely going to just, you know.
But I can see Meg just being like, listen, I didn't want to say nothing, and now it's out, and I'm not going to be caught looking like no fool.
Right.
And now y'all over here making me seem like I hate black men. Like,
right.
I can see that progression happening from her. And even Kelsey being the one that's like,
he did. He shot me. I said it. That little munchkin shot me.
Exactly. Once that momentum gets going, and now y'all against each other, it just gets out of control. It ain't nothing you can do to stop that train until the judge like bangs that gavel. So
100%.
I can see all of them doing that. I can see myself doing all of those situations. If I was in the dumb part of the situation in the beginning, I see how it comes out.
If you happen to find yourself in that kind of
I can see Tory not wanting to testify because he knows that both of them his charge is going to be proven if he testifies.
Right.
It's going to be proven that he was part of that scuffle, even if he's able to say like it was actually Kelsey the one that discharged it, but I was trying to get it from her. Blah blah blah. Like, you know that y'all was over here being reckless. You're going to jail, or you're being charged, you're being convicted. So I can see why he wouldn't want to testify, and that not mean that he is guilty of actually shooting her, but he's guilty of having his hands on that weapon, having it not register, and all the other stuff that comes with it. So, and then I can see Kelsey just being a terrible fucking friend. Ain't no way.
Honestly, I'm not going. I feel like if anybody I sympathize with the most, it's her. It is, because could you imagine you riding in the car with your friend? Y'all was just at this rich people party. You was like, "Ooh, we drunk," and then you hear somebody who you had been having relations with is having relations with your best friend, and you didn't hear from your best friend. He told you that in front of her, and then you kind of like, you did what? And so now you arguing with him some more because you can't believe it. And I'm really up here like, we not gonna just skirt past what he said.
Right, okay.
And now you like, man, no. And so now you trying to be all boss up on me, and I'm trying to get to the bottom with it. And so I might, throw a little uppercut in the car. I might have.
I just don't understand.
That's why I feel bad for Kelsey, because like, dang.
It's just the telling of the story, and then it's just all the backtracking. Like, you just muddied the waters, and you know that you was up here doing some shady shit.
And I really think that's what the public backlash is currently, like, now that the trial has concluded. It's just more so like, girl, you know you had a little bit more to play than what you gave off all this time. So like, why you ain't just?
What do you think about the call afterwards? The call from Tory. Did you hear about that?
I did, and I heard it. And as a guy, being that I studied criminal, I'm not apologizing for nothing, even if I do have remorse. Yeah. Because though I can be like, in that moment,
it's implicating.
Right. I could be calling to say, you know what, I really shouldn't have put out the business like that, because that's what got us here in the beginning.
Yeah.
If I had just been like, whatever.
There's a number of things he could have been apologizing for.
100%.
Yeah.
But we also know that it don't matter, because they're going to take that and
the way
they
need to use it.
Here, he is apologizing. So obviously he did it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he didn't, because I don't know. Right. I'm just saying
it was stupid. Like, why are you talking now? I mean, but yeah, it could have been
I definitely would have called and been like, is everyone all right? Like, can you, if that's who you're getting in touch with, can you get in touch with my team so that they can bail me out? Cool, thanks. And then, you know, after that, anything I gotta say, if I'm gonna apologize, it's gonna be in person and not on the phone.
Yeah, like
especially
that's
not from
really
jail.
silly.
They record those because it says, "Are you ready for this recording?"
Yes, like it's just, again, that young and dumb. There's no, but I guess maybe he has no intention of trying to appeal. But because I'm like, if you do want to appeal,
even in that, if you don't, because
I don't think
if you don't think it's going to go the direction that it went, because
that's a lot to have to go through. I'd be
right,
like,
you're kind of just like, hey man, you know, everything was crazy, but I am sorry that it got there for what I.
Bro, wait till
I don't
after
think
sentencing.
No, definitely no, or even when you get out, because it's. But if you're in that moment thinking, okay, you just got locked up because you had the gun, boom, cool, no problem. You're not thinking it's gonna turn into. Wait, what? You're saying that I tried to...
I would think after 2 years of dealing with this bullshit that he would know how nasty and sticky the legal system is.
But I'm saying, the call happened the very first time he got it. So he got arrested that night.
Okay.
And that's when the call happened.
Okay.
That night. So he was like, I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'm saying in that moment, maybe you had sobered up and then you're like... Because as a guy... To do what he did, that's kind of a bitch move.
That whole situation, there's no reason that it should have happened and led by you.
No, there's no reason why, like, a girl is coming at you, and now you're gonna be like, but why are you jumping on her? Because, like, that's whole business. Yeah. That's nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Even if it has to do with you, that's not how you insert yourself in it. So I could definitely see him like having a moment where you was drinking and you handle something inappropriately like that.
Yeah.
And then you say that and then you like, hey man, my bad. Like that's out of my character.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess he didn't have. I didn't realize it was that.
Oh yeah, it was the first time.
That makes a lot more sense then. It just sucks that I guess he didn't have his legal team with him at that moment to tell him, nah, bro, that's not how you do that.
Yeah, don't apologize to nobody. Just shut up.
Well,
because I know anytime the police I don't even got a lawyer for real. Like my uncle a lawyer, but I already know what lawyer.
Listen, if I learn anything from when they see us, is I ain't saying
lawyer.
Yeah, that's immediately.
Anytime I see the police, hi, a lawyer. I just want a lawyer.
Sir.
Can I have your lawyer?
Routine traffic
lawyer.
No,
because that just
facts.
means everything that's going on, you can't proceed until somebody come and say next to me.
Yeah, facts. I think that's what we need to be just teaching our children immediately.
The police run up on you, lawyer.
That's the only word you need to know.
I would like you to call my lawyer.
Yeah, and then the whole phone thing, but I don't even. I mean, actually, like Teslas have cameras.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, a friend of mine, he was telling me that.
I'm not okay with the car. I watched I Am Robot.
I know.
I'm not okay with the car driving itself.
I'm not okay with a lot of this whole stuff, but it's also, it doesn't care whether I'm okay with it, and it's happening. The houses will be driving themselves at some point.
I remember going to a library and looking through the Dewey Decimal System to try and find books. So I'm okay with the analog culture.
Yeah,
technology is cool, but
it's scary.
Y'all keep that. I watched Smart House as a kid.
Every movie that we've seen. Actually, one of the podcasts I was talking about lawyers becoming.
I actually seen
robots.
that. No, there's a company who's saying that they're willing to pay a lawyer $1 million to have an AI. Direct them in how to proceed in the case.
Okay.
So like they type in and then the AI will say, excuse me, this is how I think you should do it, and then they follow the AI as if it's lead counsel.
Now that might not be. I mean, the good part is that you have all the actual laws available to you. It's only fair if both sides have it. Because I mean, there's nobody that's got somebody representing them from the state can fight with a robot that has all the laws and codes at their will. But I was worried that they weren't going to have the actual lawyer presenting the case and defending, because that human element of just compassion and discretion, that's still very much
needed. To tell to me, what people miss is lawyers, they do know the law.
They know how to use,
but they go in there to really try to manipulate tell a story.
They manipulate the law.
Have the jurors like, I feel like he did or didn't do that all the way. Because I ain't even gonna lie to you. When I was listening to the facts of the case, once it started to be like, oh, Meg and Kelsey may have gotten into a fight. They may have, that the hairdresser said that Kelsey had a firearm in the bag, and somehow the bag moved from the trunk to the body of the car. Like, that's kind of like,
y'all over here just trying to stir the pot. That's it. Interjecting all that doubt.
There's some probable doubt. That's all I gotta do is make you doubt it just a little bit.
But again, it's so crazy that none of that actually had to do with the damn charges. Like, it was already going to be convicted of those charges.
It was.
We just spent 2 years learning the extra bunch of information that didn't have to do with nothing.
Nothing
I mean, it was great TV, I guess.
It was entertainment. Yeah. That's what America sells. That's where the number one country in exporting entertainment. So
bullshit.
Definitely.
Now, like, okay, so they're going to have this sentencing thing, and it's like, I hope that he doesn't have some kind of crazy sentencing, but I also hope that the public can detach the fact that, like, his sentencing has nothing to do with whether or not, like, he shot her or whatever the case may be. But it's just, like, understanding the punishment for the crime, like, and also this, like, I mean, of course, as a black person, I want it to not be something that's going to be reaching, but, like, rehabilitate. Like, now, do they all need a big ass slap on the wrist? Yes. Does he need to be in jail for 22 years? Y'all.
Yeah.
But I don't want them to be like, oh, this means that they're not caring for black women.
Right. And see, that's why I think the community really is, we're not a community, right? In that sense, because the community should look at that and be like, here are 3 of our young rising members. If there was malicious intent, go after. But we don't know. There's no proof of malicious intent. So rather than, because I think if
throw the baby out,
I think personally, punish all of them if you're gonna punish all of them.
Yeah, Meg, I mean, you gotta choose better friends too. Like, I hope all of them do better in
your mama should have taught you not to lie. Because if you ain't lie,
I bet she's not. I bet next time she's like, I don't care who did what. Like, the police is
a lot easier.
She's probably gonna walk out wearing body cams at this point. Like, I'm not doing this no more. Poor thing.
Or probably not, because then she gonna look like the bad guy. Because that's really the thing. It's like a lot of it is. It's way too many inconsistencies. So for us to want to choose sides in a situation we have no idea what happened, you're going to die on the hill for these people, and then in 2 years, they all going to be hugging at the MTV Awards.
Yeah, I mean, the part that we know, unfortunately, she got shot. The problem is the other 2 people both had equal opportunity to have done the crime. So that's the unfortunate part, is we can't really say that it was him or Kelsey, or what the hell role Kelsey played in it if she didn't do it. So I mean, that it's unfortunate. So I don't think that, you know, Megan should have the same type of like talking to as the others, but like, it's just like, all y'all just need to be sat down somewhere.
Yeah,
just sat down. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Because also the public component, like, I hope that doesn't affect the sentencing.
I hope not either, but judges tend to have leniency in where they go and sentence, whether or not they're going to throw the full book at you.
It's just, the thing is about judges, I mean, they are appointed. You know,
that too.
like,
so and they're appointed because they feel a type of way on the topic. So
depending on,
we shall see.
And
we
they, that's it takes away. I mean, it adds that added level of bias that they want to keep their jobs and stuff like that, even though they're not supposed to be like political in that way of maintaining the security of their position.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be looking out for number one in this capitalistic society. Every single person has their own ulterior motive of protecting self-preservation.
Definitely.
All right, you have any other thoughts on this?
Just my biggest kick is just, as a black man, we care about our black women, and we want to make sure that they are protected. In the same breath, just like some of our black men deserve to be prosecuted by the full extent of the law, I think the same with our women, and that's just people. That's what I was getting at. People are good and people are bad. And when it comes to that, it's not for us to just be like, oh, because one, it's all encompassing. So, like, when you're looking at these situations, or they come up, or even in your personal life, get to know the people involved, and if you know the people involved, make a character judgment from what you know. If you don't know the people involved,
You don't
mind
know.
your business.
Yeah.
Because then it just gets to a lot of this other that spills over, and it don't do us no good, because it just is public record of us continually fighting with each other.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even say that this can go a different way, because the age that we are now in and furthering into of social media and technology, being a public figure, this shit is going to happen, because unfortunately not all of us are educated enough to know when and when not to be in some business, or what we're talking about half the time. The fact that this case is not about what most of the argument and discourse has been for 2 years
should really say something.
It says a whole lot. So it's really unfortunate. And I guess for me, just going back to the fact that the what he's being charged, what he's been convicted of, is like, and the sentence that's going to be wrapped with that is not about him shooting Megan. And so I would hope that the sentencing fits the crime, because as much as we might want him to be sentenced if we think that he shot Megan, for one, again, because it wasn't like, even from Megan's point of view, not like I'm trying to shoot you to harm you, I'm just really fucking around and have no business. Again, fitting the crime. Like, that to me seems like a sentence for somebody that shot you intentionally. Like, I want to shoot you.
Like, my intent was to hurt you,
correct. Maybe you didn't die, but you were shot,
traumatized.
Right, like not in the pinky toe. Like, you were like for real shot, and not just fragments. But but in no way do I mean like, if he said I'm gonna shoot you now and want to shoot you to harm you, that I think that he shouldn't be like
prosecuted.
Yeah. I don't feel that way. It's just from what she was saying, it doesn't seem like anybody thought it was, I'm looking to leave this night by shooting you. Right. So I'm just hoping that the sentence fits that, and that the public can understand that if he does get a larger sentence than that, then it's detrimental to all of our whole community, because they're setting a precedent. Right. Like, anything that we do, we going away for life, and especially when it's just charged with public opinion that does not understand
the merits of the case.
Correct.
100%.
Correct. So I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully we can, as a culture, do better, but I don't even think it's just our culture. I think just
where we are right now,
people in general,
society,
humanity, we probably gonna continue to be
it's a lot easier to polarize and just be like, you don't think what I think, so you're the op. No, they just don't agree.
Yeah, and all of us just being so like, yeah, of course he shot. I don't even think that Meg was lying. I think that she knew the part that she got.
She turned around and seen it with a gun and bullet, so you shot me.
Right, and it wasn't, it was the fragments that hit it, so whether it was Kelsey or him, I don't know that she, I think it was like, knows. You said you was going to shoot me, you was playing a gun, and that was you, but I think that it was a little bit more murky.
Yeah. A lot more nuance to it.
Yeah, not that I don't believe her. I think that there's just, the situation was more complicated, and you just, unfortunately, in the court of law, it's kind of like you gotta, what happened? Well, I think you can't. If you do that, then you're done for.
We're not sure.
You're done for. So, yeah.
And truthfully, people don't even know. In law, eyewitness testimony is actually one of the least credible ways to prove something, because memories change.
Listen, I be remembering exactly the way that I need to. And then especially when you become in this situation where it's like legal and formal, oh yeah, my memory is going to be implanted the way, this is what I remember now, and this is how it's going to stay.
Yeah.
And now it's just storytelling at a certain point.
100%.
Yeah. All right, guys. I don't think it was too crazy. We really don't know enough to make it crazy.
We just wanted to talk to the community.
Yeah. Definitely a big topic for honestly no good reason.
It just always sucks when our dirty laundry is aired out.
Yeah, and either way we lose in this situation. That sucks. All right, y'all. Well, as always, catch me on social media at is_Alexis. And anywhere podcasts are found at Lex Talk, LEXTLK. And Kimoy?
You can follow me on It's Really Kimoy, KIMOY. Also, I've started embroidering.
Oh, I like that.
So, check it out. I'm going to be posting some of, my designs, some stuff that I'm working on.
Who is that?
This is Naruto and Kurama.
Okay.
The anime.
Mm-hmm. Was it something in your back, too?
Yeah. It's hidden leaf symbol.
Oh, is that, going to be, your tag or something?
No, it's just for this.
Oh, okay. So that's
like
okay. Okay, they go together. Oh, okay.
So.
That's nice. All right, y'all. Can't wait to see you guys in another video. All right, bye.
Bye.